In 1824, Governor Thomas Brisbane of New South Wales was instructed to move England's worst convicts to Norfolk Island. The convict men transported there were offered a colonial conviction instead of being hanged on the gallows. Research now shows that only 15% of the men who arrived were saved from their death sentences. The new jail was built between 1836 and 1847. It housed convicts who resisted the colony's harsh discipline and aimed for reform by isolation and total sensory deprivation. It contained a central pentagonal building of 84 cells, 2 lock-up rooms, 10 turnkey rooms, and 10 open-air yards. Each cell had stone walls and floors, and a timber ceiling. They were 6 foot long, 5 foot wide, and 11 foot high. Each cell held up to 3 prisoners. The complex also contained another 40-cell block, 2 service buildings, and 12 solitary confinement spaces. The conditions were extreme. Prisoners were forced to carry heavy chains. Torture and whipping were very common. The labour was back-breaking. Some prisoners tried to flee the island or led uprisings. All who participated in the rebellions were hanged on the island.
So we decided to try a new device, I suppose, in a way, that we had seen in action the previous night with some other investigators when we went to the old jail. So it's called the Portal. It is a free app, and those of you who know us will know that we poo-poo spirit box apps on phones. This one has a male actor, a child actor, and a female voice actor that read various words. Then what they have done is they have played it backwards, and then they have broke it into bits. So that's kind of how they've done the app. So the way we worked it was that originally Natasha had headphones playing really loud with the portal talking to her in the headphones. With noise cancelling on.
The breaking surf.
It was very noisy with the surf and everything in the background as well. I was asking questions, so I was trying to walk ahead with my back to her quietly so that she wouldn't be hearing when I'm asking questions and what I'm asking. Occasionally she could, but we were trying to not. And then Tess was in the middle just repeating Natasha's answers for me really loud, because obviously I've got my back to Natasha, so I couldn't always hear what the answer was. So I'd ask a question, Natasha might answer what she's hearing, and then Tess would repeat it for me, and then we'd continue like that. So we walked in to the prison and went to, there's like a wing, it's a pentagon shape, and it's got 5 sets of cell corridors that come out of it, and each cell is 7 by and there would be 3 men in each cell. So this is where they put the men that had not behaved well when they were here, so they hadn't got any privileges, so they were kind of the worst kind of ruffians, I suppose. Went to the first door, knocked on the stone, asked permission to come into their room to talk to them, and I was told
No permission.
no permission. So I went, okay, so I'll try next door, thank you very much. Went next door, knocked, asked again, was told to F off. And so I thought, right, try the next one again, and just carried down the line. And every time I got no permission or curse words.
Explosives.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just, nobody wanted to talk to me. The interesting thing was, as we were approaching, we were also told the monster is asleep. Which, when you're in a dark old prison, that's probably not what you want to hear coming out of the darkness. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then as I was going down the line and coming back the other side, suddenly I heard the monster is awake. And it's like nightmare material, but anyway, and I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, is he? Oh, okay. And I'm trying to be all tough, go, well, it's going to take more than that to scare me, sort of thing. And we carried on walking, walked past. I was trying to walk around. There's an exposed bit of this underground sewer system that runs to the beach, and we were told goes to the surf, which it does, that sort of thing. And then we kept going, and we went into the centre of the Pentagon, and that's where they used to put people on display for punishment. They'd tie them in a very uncomfortable position on the poles, and that was kind of the point where they started talking to Tess, and Tess was having some experiences in particular by that point.
Yeah, I think they told me that, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then called me a leper, which is funny because that's what I call myself, because I can't eat a lot of stuff with health issues. And felt just a coldness on my back, which was unusual, I haven't had that before. And that sort of followed me around with varying intensity. Just the back of my body. I wasn't feeling particularly cold, just a feeling on my back, really. And just as if they were having a laugh at me. Yeah.
And it was just, bawdy humour. At one point, a bit later on, I remember they said, we're feral. They said the words, called we're feral, as if they were very proud of it. That kind of thing. And so after a while of getting lots of negativity, lots of just rudeness, that you might expect from some feral in, I said, I'm going to go talk to the boys. Where's the boys? Because they did have young boys on site in a different building and that sort of thing. And as I started to walk where to go find them, they said something like, up shit creek. And I was like, what? Okay, yeah, and all this sort of stuff. And then as I was still walking, it was followed by sniff sniff, up Shit's Creek, sniff sniff. I'm like, oh, okay, you're funny, okay, cool. And then we got to the door to walk through, and I waited for the others to catch up to make sure that they were still okay, if we want to change headphones or anything like that. And still getting, still up Shit's Creek, as if to say, you're going the wrong way, mate, you're not going to get there. Because we were heading out, and we were going to have to walk all the way around the outside to get to the place where we needed to go. Hoping to potentially go back with another couple of investigators, and we might see if there is some way we can try and get some audio recordings or something. The problem is it's so windy down there and so loud. We'll see what we can do, but we may not be able to get any evidence.
Go on. 12 squats.
I'm on holiday.
1, 2, 3. Keep going, keep going. You gotta get lower than that. Don't lean forward.
Oh, did you hear that click?
Chest up, butt down. You're halfway.